Island versus mainland, where should I live? People come to Lagos every day. Their startup is mainland. So mainland is the real Lagos and island is a bubble. In 2 seconds, 2 people are fought. The next one they've made up, someone just stole and they are shouting, ole, ole, ole. Lekki traffic doesn't have respect for anybody. You can face traffic coming out of your house. Mainland gives you more space. Island also has more organized estates. You like the authentic Nigerian food, mainland has your heart. Things are particularly more expensive on the island. Everything is double. Everything depends on your budget, my love. Me, your girl Sarah Donald, and today I'm here to answer the most asked question that you guys have asked me on this platform, which is island versus mainland. Where should I live? So let me break it down, starting from budget. Everything depends on your budget, my love. Yeah, so remember when you're talking about the island stretches all the way. So there is Ikoyi, VI, Lekki one, all the way down to Ibeju Lekki. So everything still boils down to your budget. I'll give an example. So a 2-bedroom in Ikoyi might be going for 15 million. Same 2-bedroom in VI will go for 12 million. Same 2-bedroom in Lekki one will go for 9 million. Same 2-bedroom in, say, Chevron will now go for 5 million. This is just giving the fee. Now, same 2-bedroom in Aja, which is still the island, can now go for like 1 million. Same 2-bedroom in Shangotedo can go for 700. Same 2-bedroom in Awoyaya can go for 1 million. Does that make sense? So it's a stretch. So before we even say where is the best place to live, everything depends on your budget. Now, why do people usually choose island when people move back? That's just because island gives more of the feel if you're coming from the west, in terms of things are just more, let's say, a bit more structured, in terms of look and feel of the place that you're used to. There's more tendency of seeing your community. Maybe you moved back, especially if you're a young girl or young guy just moving to Lagos. There's a tendency that if you're in Lekki or if you're in Chevron, that you might meet your kind of people as well that just moved back. So it's also a community thing, and that's why it looks like island is popular. No, that's because when people move back, the normal thing to do is like, oh, where did you move to? I moved to Lekki, I moved to Chevron, I moved here. And then they tend to move where their friends are. That's why you hear a lot of that. And it's typically close to the kind of things they like. So if you're into like, very gourmet kind of food, sushi, nkwobi that they'll put on a wine glass, not the normal nkwobi. When you're looking for akara, but they have turned the name to bean cake, that's Lekki. Everything is exaggerated. That includes, I didn't mention, like, during the housing as well, you'll be thinking, if you're looking at staying in an estate, you're not just thinking about your rent, you're also talking about your service charge. So that's what you also should be looking at. Now, let's look at water. Water on the mainland area, some areas on the mainland, typically cleaner than water on the island. I think it has to do with drainage. Now, how do we manage with water? People like us that live on the island. One, you either have your own borehole, or you buy water from tanker that is really neat, or like I do in my estate, they treat the water. I also have my filter. So when people say that, oh, Lekki water is yellow, it's true, but that's why you have to treat your water. If you don't treat your water, you're gonna get yellow water. Yeah. What again? Let's talk about investment, right? If you want fast turnaround, mainland gives you that than island. Let me give you an example. So a house on the island might be going for 7 million, and a young guy just makes money. He pays this 7 million. The next year he's not able to pay because his business is not doing well. Whereas on the mainland, that same house in some areas, by the way, because when I'm saying mainland, it's not everywhere. Like if you're thinking of Ikeja GRA, it's almost the same price with Lekki Phase 1. Yeah. So it depends on the area. When I say mainland, typically the general, yeah. So, but that same house now that is going for 7 million in Surulere or Yaba, that same house might be going for like 2 million or 5 million. So what happens is that on the mainland, you have tenants that have lived in the same house for 20, 30 years. Yeah, there's some people that have had the same tenant for the longest time. Their kids stay there, go to school, get married. It's like a family house. The only difference is that they did not buy it. So the turnaround for tenants are more. on the island. So because of that, on the island, all my rent this year, the next year you won't see them again, leaving your house empty for like 1 or 2 years, right? Yeah. So, but mainland, no, you not lack tenants. People come to Lagos every day. Their startup is mainland. So if you have a good location in like Yaba, Unilag side, all those things, you get your money faster than island. But if you're looking to leave, of course, then it's your personal preference if you want to live on the island or the mainland. Another thing about living on the island to mainland, my friend said mainland for her is the real Lagos and island is the bubble. So whatever that means to her, it means that mainland is the real Lagos. Like if you want to enter Lagos city, like in 2 seconds, two people are fought, the next one they've made up in, like you might just literally be on the road and someone just proposed, someone just stole, and they are shouting ole, and the next thing somebody is driving one way. Like a lot can happen in 1 second. So that is the main Lagos. A lot of people, she grew up in Lagos. So a lot of people that grew up in Lagos grew up on the mainland because island is typically new. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, those are the real Lagosians. And most people I've seen that have properties on the island, or those people that moved to Lagos a long time ago or grew up in Lagos, I notice how they don't like moving to the island. Yes. So according to her, island is the bubble, just where she, like she loves coffee, stuff like that. So she's able to quickly get that on the island. Now, talking about work, I keep telling people everything depends on where you work. If you work in VI and you live in Shangotedo, the Lord is your strength. If you work in VI and you live in Korodu, the Lord is your strength. So when it comes to where will you live, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, are you working remotely? If you're working remotely, my dear, you can live anywhere. As long as the place is cool, safe, and you can afford it to your own preference, you can live anywhere. But if you are working and you live far, let's say you're working on the island and you have to do that Third Mainland Bridge every day, it's not easy. I have a few friends or colleagues I used to work with that lived on the mainland. They even started doing these shared apartments on the island. So their main house is on the mainland, but Monday to Friday, they do like shared apartments in Lekki, and it was a lot easier because it was so, like, imagine leaving the office at 5 and sometimes you're not getting home till 1 a.m. You get the traffic. It's crazy. So yes, and like I said, Lagos as well, Lekki, the traffic is also, Lekki traffic doesn't have respect for anybody. You can face traffic coming out of your house. So timing is very important. Like someone like me now, I don't do 9 to 5 again. So I calculate my time very well. I don't leave my house rush hour. No. I did not leave 9 to 5 to come and deal with that. So yes, it really depends on if you'll be working from home. Raising kids space. What is your vibe like, right? I have come to see that a lot of young people love the island because, like I said, that's where they get to go for their parties. They get to meet their friends, go to restaurants, because any kind of restaurant you want is on the island. I'm talking from Jamaica, Mexican, any kind of restaurant you want. And the restaurants are run by the country people. Like, I don't know if you get what I mean. Like, you're not eating a Chinese food that is cooked by a Nigerian. No, you're eating a Chinese food made by a Chinese person. But if you like the authentic Nigerian food, Mainland has your heart for that. If you want the proper amala, the proper swallow, like food that they didn't have to. But, on the island, they'll cook rice and put one leaf on it and give it a name. But the mainland, authentic food. Even when I go to the mainland for something, I always buy food. Yes. Mainland makes the authentic food. Now let's talk about like compound as well. Mainland gives you more space. Buildings are more spacious. If your kids, if you have kids and you want them to play outside, a lot of parents find it better training on the mainland because of this space. On the island, it's kind of like a struggle for your kids to have where to play, except you are living in an estate where like I always go for estates that are family estates. Like I told you, the difference between family estates and estates that have, okay, so let me say this. If you're looking at an estate that has 1 bed, 2 bed, tendency is that you're going to meet young people, right? So the turnaround is a lot. Today you might see them, tomorrow they are no more there. But if you're looking for an estate that they own, like they live there, the people that live there bought the property, oh no, it's easier to raise kids there because they can easily go and play on the compound, and you know your neighbor, you know who it is, right? But if not, if you're just looking at like, if you're big on space, mainland gives you that big compound. Yes, that's what I can say. Gives you that big compound. Why island can be restricted. There's a new thing they call the island now. It's like a new kind of face me, I face you, where a lot of the houses, because land is so expensive, they utilize everything. It's remaining smaller. The houses I saw when I was looking to buy, there are some houses that it's almost as if you talk, your neighbor will hear you talk. Do you get? So that it took me a lot of time to look for a house that has space. Mainland houses has more space. The rooms are big. In fact, when I did on my other channel, Sarah Donald, I did a house reveal of my bedroom, and people were like screaming, "Where did you find this house on the island?" Because it is rare. Yeah, mainland houses are quite spacious compared to the island. Now, another thing with mainland houses is that they are older. Yes, they are older. So if you're buying a house on the mainland, you have to renovate it. So you have to put the cost of renovation, and that can sometimes be a lot of almost like breaking it down to make it modern. Yes. Another thing is like the island also has more organized estates than the mainland. So personally, like I said, someone like me, I live in an estate. So that's part of one of the reasons I chose island, is that I love estate. I just want to pay and move in. I don't have to deal with generator. I don't have to deal with how my lights works. I don't want to deal with NEPA treatment. I don't want to deal with all that. But mainland houses, I don't want to deal with going to the gym when I can just go to the gym here and not have to pay for gym maintenance myself. Like it's part of the service charge, and then swimming pool and all that. But a lot of mainland estates are not that organized. Like they haven't, I've checked and I've not really seen a lot of estates that do fully serviced. So maybe just partial servicing where the main security you need access to come in. But in terms of the 360, the light, water, everything, I haven't really seen. So if that's what you're looking for, and I feel like that's what also makes island more young and mainland, because if you're coming for like a family of 6, you want everybody to have their room, you have more tendency of finding that kind of space on the mainland than the island. And if you must find it on the island, you're looking at going all the way down to Ibejuleki, where they have like MN Estates and the rest. Now let's talk about schools. Mainland has very nice schools. Island has very nice schools, but Island takes advantage of the island vibes to overpackage their school. So a school that will be going for 700,000 on the island per term, that same school will be going for 2 million per term on the mainland, on the island. When I was looking for a school for my daughter for secondary school, the prices I was hearing on this mainland, it was like, so how much is university? In fact, a lot of them were more expensive than private universities. Yes. So that's because they try to format this, oh, we are using British curriculum. Every child has their own iPad. They have this, they have that. But in terms of, looking for school, that one, I went deeper than the price. So it depends on you. There's something about a lot of Nigerian schools now. They kind of like copy the foreign Western style. I don't know. There's something about a lot of Nigerian schools now. They kind of like copy the foreign Western style. I don't know if you've seen all those YouTube videos. It's actually real. It's happening now. You go there, you see them like wearing very long hair, colored hair. You don't even know that, are these kids in secondary school or is this, a university? So for me, beyond the fees, I was very particular about the kind of school, because your kids spend a lot of time in school. I went to some schools where we're Nigerians, and the people are looking at you, you're looking at them, the student. My daughter's school, the moment you walk in there, the students are like, good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. What are you looking for, ma'am? No, let's go and call. Yet respectful, there are not a lot of people. So for me, that's what I was looking for. So both places have good schools, but when it comes to school, I will advise that you go to school by yourself and find out. I do not like big schools with a lot of people. I find children have a tendency of drowning there and they don't know who is who. So particularly, I was looking for a school where they're like 9 in a class, 7 in a class, that sort of thing. That's what I was going for. Yeah, schools both way. Now, let's talk about faiths because Nigerians are big on faith. Island churches versus mainland churches. So mainland church, you find the die by fire, noise, dance. The black church that you're used to. Why island churches, you'll be seeing like people marching as if like everything is like the kind of songs are different. It's hill song, is the the format, everything is different. Yeah. So I like a mix of both because I grew up in the East, and for the East, we were used to that mainland church. So sometimes I like that noise, this well put together here. It doesn't do it for me sometimes, yes, but in terms of the preaching, I don't go to older churches because of, let's not get into it. But yeah, sometimes I don't go to a church where they are saying, if your husband is talking, you dare not talk. When I see those clips on social media, I'm like, what is this? So yes. Churches are also huge. Then when it comes to like stores, things being expensive, things are particularly more expensive on the island. Everything is double. Supermarket, braiding of hair, when I mean everything is double the price. They call it island price. On this island, if you want to go and wash your hair, please ask them how much, because they might finish and somebody is telling you that they just used $100 to wash your hair. I'm not even exaggerating. So yes, everything is typically double. So the big question, where to live, it all depends on you. It's your vibe. If you can, like I keep telling people, come to Nigeria. Don't buy a house yet. Don't rent, especially if you don't know about Nigeria. If you know about Nigeria, then you can easily make your choice. But if you don't know about Nigeria and you're just looking to leave or you want to know the difference, come to Nigeria. Do Airbnb. They have Airbnb on the mainland. They have Airbnb on the island. That way you have a feel and decide where you want to be. But if you're coming for work, know that if you have the money, work has already decided for you. So if you're working in Festac, even if you have the money to be in Ikoyi, please don't, except you are the CEO, so you decide when you want to go to work. Same with the island. If you're working on the island, if you're working in Festac, please don't bother living on the island. You will be frustrated again, except you're the CEO. So you decide when to go to work. Yeah. So that's it. Island versus mainland. I'm an island girl because I like calm. I like quiet as a personality. My personality type, is calm, quiet. I like the island gives me a lot of delivery options. I can stay in the comfort of my home and order Glovo, Manu. Sometimes there are some areas that you go to, they'll tell you that these things are not available in those areas. No. So I like estates. I'm an estate kind of girl where I just pay, I'm moving and let the management take care of every other thing. So let me know, what kind of vibe are you? Are you like the old school enjoyment, authentic food, African real kind of way of raising fun, kids playing in the compound? Or are you a come inside the house and play game kind of parents, calm? Yeah, let me know your personality type. Yeah. Anyways, my name is remain Sarah Donald, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you want me to do any video tailored to moving back to Nigeria or real estate or all that great stuff, you know what to do. Just put it in the comment section and I got you. Thanks and stay blessed.